Hello, everybody. I am here today with it's Rory Boyle, right?
Yeah.
Roy, and you are the creator of a book called STEAM Patriots.
You got it. Yeah, me and my buddy Scott.
Okay. I am getting a unstable internet connection notice, and so hopefully everything works fine, and the internet doesn't decide to go nuts. I do.
That happened to me 2 nights ago. We like back-to-back interviews, and we were the last one on it. As soon as it was our turn, mine went out. I was like, oh no.
I know, it's crazy. So I moved to this small town, and my internet has been. It's a crapshoot here, you know. I mean, some days it's.
So I moved back to the boonies, and you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, you never do. I mean, it's not quite the boonies, but it is a small town. I think the closest hub is like 16 miles away or something like that. So where it hits, it's like a whole other, you know, there's a whole lot of cows and horses and Amish people between here and there. So you would think that you would think that the internet would be fine. Because you know those Amish, they don't
take up too much bandwidth.
No, not really. It's funny. The other day I was talking and I referred to them as Amis, and my wife was like, "That's offensive," and I go, I said, "Are you being offended for someone else?" She goes, "Well, kind of," and I said, "Well, no, we don't do that here.
It doesn't work.
We don't do that here." So I said, "So they're Amis." And she goes, "Well, what if one of them hears and gets upset?" I'm like, "Well, I'm on the internet. These people don't have the internet. They're not going to know."
Right?
You know, but anyway, no, they're...
they were told to be offended.
Right. And I mean, no, but they're great people. I've ran into them. They're not super friendly, but they make great furniture and great food, man. They are craftsmen, and they are hard workers. I mean, they really bring it when it comes to that stuff. So, all right. So today, what's going to happen is you're going to keep an eye on the chat for me.
Yeah. Okay.
And so if people have any questions for you, they're more than welcome to ask. We are simulcasting right now to 3 different Facebook locations. My YouTube, my Twitch, my Twitter, and my Rumble. So we won't be able to see Rumble comments, but we'll be able to, you know, they'll be able to sit back and enjoy this. We're going to draw for about an hour and a half on this one. And I'm just going to ask you a few questions. We're going to get to know you a little bit better. And, you know, getting to know you. Let's welcome who we do have chatting right now. We have more people in the chat, in the viewing than we have in the chat, but that's about typical. So we've got Black Hat Cinephile here. Welcome. It's great to have you here. What's up? What's up? We got Nicholas Gear that's commenting right now. Howdy, folks. Nice to have you today. So yeah, we're just going to do a little drawing, and hopefully you guys are working along with this. And you know, I've got this this new ASMR voice.
Yeah, very.
So it's going to be very Bob Rossi today.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just how it is. This is the voice I've been given, folks. From this whole, I don't know if you knew, but I got sick a year ago, and I went into the hospital. Was in a coma for 5.5 weeks. I was intubated, and the tube damaged my vocal cords. So
yeah,
that's what I got. It's me.
That's wild.
this is the voice now. So yeah, it's pretty
Now you can
wild.
do
All
audio
right.
ones.
Yeah, I can do it. I actually, what's funny is I used to sing and do a lot of stuff like that professionally,
Hmm.
but then I got I can't sing anymore.
You
But
sure? You got that Ray
yeah,
LaMontagne voice, then. You know?
right. But it's lung capacity and being able to hold
Oh,
the notes and stuff. My throat just
I
it won't
got you.
do it. My lungs just aren't strong enough at the moment.
Yep.
So I am I am kind of relegated to not doing that. But I've actually gotten a couple voiceover jobs already.
Cool.
They're
Good.
like, that's the perfect voice for what we want. This nice smooth voice. And I'm like,
Yeah, Velvet.
well, it is. I mean, if I can capitalize on it, I will.
Yeah, do it.
I'm
Gift.
not beyond that. So, all right. So this guy is a young guy, right? So,
Yep.
tell us a little bit about the world of STEAM Patriots.
Sure. So when Scott and I hashed this idea, we were on a boating trip. We were sailing from Seattle to Ketchikan. It took us about 6 days. And
Ketchikan, where's that?
Alaska, Ketchikan,
Oh,
Alaska. It's they call it the Inside Passage. It's quite the trip. You can go days without seeing anybody.
sounds like
Uh,
my kind of trip.
it's good. It was a good time. There was rum involved, and so we came up with this idea, and we really can't decide like who thought of it. I think we thought of it at the same time, and it exploded into our lives. We were talking about how steampunk always gets this Victorian England 1800s aesthetic, and we wanted to give it an origin and make it American, and like go further back in the steampunk timeline, because it's always just established like, yeah, it's steampunk, everything's steam technology, a lot of gears everywhere, but we wanted that origin, so of course it would be a little more rudimentary, a little clunkier, and we wanted American history, and the Revolution was just the perfect time to do it because you have Ben Franklin, so he'll be like the grandfather of steampunk with all of his inventions, and a lot of the technology already existed. Franklin worked on up like a precursor to the battery called Leyden jars, and it just like built up like a static electric shock. Use it like as a party trick, to give people a
Yeah.
shock. But they were pretty cool. Things like the submersible already existed. It was called the Turtle. Gatling guns, ours was already a patent for that. So
Yeah.
it was just too expensive to make all the stuff. It existed. So we're not altering history all that much. And Felix, you're drawing here, he's our young protagonist, 14, 15-year-old kid, impetuous youth, like, hey, I know what I'm doing. I'll make my own mistakes, as we all do.
Yeah.
Uh, he has this like gift of a really great memory, like a photographic memory. He can see schematics and diagrams and like have that exploded view, and it's like memorize all the parts. He can remember, what goes where. Sometimes it might take him an extra second to get there, and he'll have to fiddle with something, but he just has this like technological engineering kind of mind. So we're gonna hook him up with Ben Franklin to begin with, and we started our storyline in August of 1776. So things are kind of already moving and shaking. The Brits have already come ashore, so it's like just the beginning of things getting hot, getting hot. So we're sticking with the colonial uh, aesthetic style. We're not changing too much. We're not going to magic school bus it where Felix just so happens to be at all these major events. No, he's keep the timeline like accurate. Like, no, he couldn't have been at Valley Forge. He was in, Canada or something. So he won't be there for everything. And to the detriment of the story, the revolution was extremely well documented. Like everybody was writing to everybody because they had nothing but time. And then like 3 months on the battlefield, like 1 day of battle, and then you had to pack up and move. There was time to write home, and so we're gonna have him move around a little bit. He won't stick with Ben Franklin forever because, true to history, Ben went off to be an ambassador to France for the majority of the war.
Yeah.
So we'll have to hand Felix off to
And
some.
as we know, have a lot of sordid affairs
Oh,
while
quite.
he was there.
What? He was quite libertine.
Yes, he really enjoyed himself while in
Yeah.
France.
All the founding fathers, man, they were some lushes too. they still have a receipt from some party they were all at, like Washington, Adams, I think Franklin was there, and a whole bunch of other well-known fathers. And it was like, one weekend, like 60 bottles of bourbon, 10 of scotch, 20 of whiskey, 13 casks of ale. It was like, man, these guys knew how to party. All right. Yeah.
Does he use wrenches? Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
okay. So I'm
We wanted
trying to steampunk it a little bit, but not too much. Like where,
Mhm.
like where I'm going to be outside of the world. I want this to be something that, a piece that you can use if you want to.
That would be wonderful. Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I always try to do something where you can use it as a special print or something.
Hmm.
Some people, sometimes they turn out good enough. Someone wants to use them as a cover, but it
Oh,
depends. Right. All right. We got Pedro. Welcome, Pedro, and AGE is here.
hello, hello.
Nice to have you guys. Let me try to get that figured out. So, yeah. Would he have goggles or anything? Like, would there be
Oh,
any?
yeah, yeah. Goggles are a must. Yeah.
Should I put the goggles on him or just
Maybe
on the top of his head?
resting on his forehead or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotta have goggles. There's this YouTube video years ago. Are you familiar with Portlandia?
Oh, yeah.
They had that one like put a bird on it. Somebody did put a cog on it. It's just
Yeah.
what makes steampunk steampunk? Just throw a cog on it.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, would he have work gloves on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He's very mechanically inclined. Getting his hands dirty. Yeah. In the first issue, we dropped hints of his brother off doing something else, and it's another side story, part of the world building we started into, and so we've had to figure out, well, if Felix is mechanically inclined, what are we going to do with his brother? So that's a whole nother thing we got to figure out.
I'm trying to work out now. Background a little bit, just so I can have something in there.
Yeah, so Franklin will be over in France doing his thing, and Felix will go be with somebody else. But we like to look for the little plot holes in history, things that like nobody can explain why it happened. It just happened. The whole city caught on fire, that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's our perfect opportunity to insert Felix screwing up.
You gotta have a few accidents here or there.
Right? I mean, if everything goes right, it's not as fun. What's Murphy's Law? If it can go wrong, it will get wrong.
Yes. That's the story of my life. Don't want to create any tangents in here.
I keep telling Scott we got to put in a character called like Major Murphy or something, and just like all the bad things happen to him. People subtly comment on it.
That would be
it's always
funny.
Murphy. Yeah, always Murphy. And this is looking incredible. I love it. And I love that perspective, like coming out.
Yeah, I wanted to do something that was going to be a little more on the exciting side. And so perspectives and kind of angles and stuff. It's all, I always try to start there.
Yeah. Looking fast, standing still. That motion in one frame is. See, I'm not an artist. I don't have that artist's mind. I adore it though. A lot of
We're
our
going to
stuff.
do a little manga here.
Did Felix go Super Saiyan?
We can make him go see. We can do whatever we want.
Right.
We're in charge here.
That's right. Paint a happy little cog over here. You got a little secret.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of that, let's just throw a few gears on the floor.
There we go. We were going to have so much fun with it because, like I said, it's such a rudimentary technology, steam boilers
Yeah.
and messing with electricity and all that stuff. We wanted it to start off as being just barely better than a horse, but like things are going to break down all the time. It's imprecise, and materials wasn't
Yeah.
as industrialized, and so everything's handmade.
Yeah, let's get some wires hanging over here.
Lots of explosions, steam explosions. Scott
Ooh,
might.
maybe we should have a little coming right out of the pipes there.
Oh yeah, that's
That'd be
good.
fun.
Oh yeah. So when I was stationed on a ship, Scott and I were both in the Coast Guard for about 12, 13 years, and I was on a ship for my first tour, and there was this mist coming out of one of these pipes, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Oh, so I called the my MK1 down to help me investigate. We're like running our hands through it. It's like cold water mist coming out. If we put our hands about 6 inches closer, it would have cut our fingers off. It was a high
Oh,
pressure line for our reverse osmosis desalinator. Like, huh,
oops.
good thing we didn't do that.
Maybe a toolbox down here.
Mm. Some wheels to turn valves.
Oh yeah, we need to stick a wheel on this thing. No, not there. I'll put it right here. Stick that wheel there. Let's just get a nice box going. I don't like where it's at though. That's why I like working digital. I can just
Pick it up. Yeah.
move it and just pick it up and move it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my hand at that. When I was younger, I wanted to do something artsy, and until I realized, wow, I'm just not good at that. And I was like, I'll try my hand at writing. That I can do all day. Maybe I've got more patience and time to practice that skill set.
There we go. We can fill that in a little bit better later. I'll figure out some kind of texture for the floor, but I think that looks pretty good.
It does look good.
So we'll start there, and then we'll get some inks going. Let me see, what brush am I going to use? I might actually use a quill on this one. I normally do the G pen style thing, but I do love a good quill brush. That's what I learned to ink with. It actually was an old quill, a little old rusty quill. So it was my one of my favorites. So let's get in here and get a face going.
Coming to life. All right.
You know what? What size do I want that quill to be? Let's lower that down.
We got about 48 hours on our Kickstarter left.
Why don't you throw that Kickstarter in the private chat there, so that I can put it out there for everyone
I got you.
to see. I'm gonna try to match a little bit of your current artist's style,
Yeah.
just for funsies, because he's got a real scratchy,
Yeah.
tone to his work, and that could be a lot of fun for me. So I'm gonna try that. I don't do that often. All right, let me grab that link real fast and I'll share that out. Copy. So I used to boomer this a lot. Like I used to stick that link. Like I would accidentally hit the link, and then leave the studio. And so I figured out, how to not do that.
Yeah.
Let's see, who else do we have going here? We've got the Ultimate Kahuna in the house today.
Ooh.
Welcome, the Ultimate Kahuna. We've got Edwin Acevedo. He has got a campaign going live this evening.
Oh,
Looking
wonderful.
forward to that. Yeah, funding over on Fund My Comic.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Fund My Comic. Yeah. I already welcomed Pedro earlier. So all right, let's get back to this. We're gonna make some. I'm gonna put a little dirt on him too,
Yeah.
because it's always fun.
Yeah.
You got to get a little dirty when you're working with the steampunk.
That's right.
When you're working
Not a
with
clean world.
cogs and
Yeah. There was like a College Humor video back when it like first came out, like time travel, and these people are like, "Yeah, let's go back to the colonial times," and they go back there, it's like, "Oh, it reeks.
Yes.
Everything is terrible." Like, yeah.
Let me zoom that out. Do I got that face looking right? I don't know if I do. I don't like it. Must start over. It's not bad. Just start over sometimes.
How long have you been arting?
It's gonna sound funny, but I actually started drawing when I was 3 years old.
All
I
right.
haven't been doing it professionally that long.
The career started young.
Yeah. Again, I don't like it. Do I like the brush I'm using? I think it's coming down like what I want it to look like. I think in my head, that brush is not going to do it right. Let's change my brushes up. There we go.
And you know Roland, right?
Yeah. I'm actually, I have known of Roland for a very long time.
Gotcha.
So when I was I actually used to find old Silverline books when I was a kid, and him and Randy, like their books, kind of the stuff that they had, just always kind of spoke to me. And it's kind of funny now that, as an adult, I have some connection with those guys now.
That is cool.
Yeah.
You never know where the connections will lead you.
You have no idea. Yep. You never know where the road may lead.
Indeed.
So how did you come to find yourself at Silverline?
So Scott got out of the Coast Guard before me and went back to school for creative writing. And one of his classes was sequential art, I believe. And Roland was his professor.
Okay.
They got to be good friends. And Scott, along with some other folks, kind of prompted him to get Silverline going again. And just been slowly taking off from there. I've been up doing back at it for the last 5 years, I think. And
Yeah, it's been a second.
yeah, so we're doing like the live streams 3 nights a week, and I like some of this, the over the shoulder, watching people draw. I like one of our shows we did a couple of years ago, like live dramatic readings of our own comics,
Oh, nice.
others. But we would do it where like everybody got to pick how everybody else read it. So like, okay, you have to read it in a light German accent. You have to be this character. You have to read it like a pirate. It was pretty fun.
Arr, like a pirate.
Yeah. We just talk about anything,
Yeah.
It never stays on topic. We're just like herding cats.
That's a little bit like, kind of my Nerd Bacon show. We do this show on Thursday mornings, and we talk a lot about kind of comic book news and what's going on, and we give our opinions about it. Which, that's what middle-aged white men love to do. We love to give our opinions on things.
Right. Yeah.
That's that's kind of our
like your
our
birthright.
culture.
Yeah. You hit a certain age, and just.
Yeah, I want to give them a little more of a fun expression there. Because he's young. How old is this guy? 15, you said?
Yeah, 14, 15.
All right.
Yeah. Right at that. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
No, you don't, bub.
Right. Yeah, I look back at myself at that age and oof.
I didn't know anything, man.
Yeah.
I thought I did. I thought I had it all together.
Right.
I'm a man. Dang it.
If I had just one iota of what I know now, then.
Right, that would be so nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'd have a lot
like
more
how
money in
far
the
that
bank,
comes
that's
out.
for sure.
I do like his ears out like a...
Yeah, that is so
So
cool.
I draw my comics like this too. I just kind of give myself some loose blue lines,
Hmm.
and then I just go straight to the inks. I just like let's figure it out as we go kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm sure that saves a step or two, right?
It does. It's certainly caution to the wind, but
Yeah, yeah.
but it's fun.
You can always erase though. That's beautiful. No, that is too cool.
So, have you always been a comic fan, or is that?
I grew up with just a few, like whatever the local library had. I was probably right at the beginning of the manga becoming more popular.
Okay.
So we had very few of those books and comic book at the library. So whatever I get my hands on, not a whole lot. Uh, as the more I got into it, I've picked up a few. I don't know. I think the comics just kind of reproduce on their own. Like I'll open up my box of books, and there's like three times more as there was the last time I opened it.
Yeah.
And I got a couple of bookshelves full of like the hardbound ones, graphic novels. So ever since like getting into this with Scott, definitely picked up a few more. And I never knew like how popular people were by individual, like, oh, that editor, oh, that artist. Oh, good. Until
Yeah.
my first con in Memphis, I had a table with Dean Zachary, and people were coming up to him with stuff he drew in the '90s, and like, "You're Dean Zachary, can you sign this?" I'm like, "Oh, you're somebody, okay?" People like seek you out.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I think
Yeah.
it counts. I think like TV and movie stars showing up, people get their pictures taken with them, like that's the draw. But
Yeah.
the art side is huge. Even the letterers, I didn't know there was like different schools of thought about lettering.
Yeah.
Okay, you have opinions on that too.
There's opinions about on everything, pretty much in
Yeah.
comics. Someone's got an opinion about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people. I'll probably never be one of those guys that they come out to seek out, but I've seen it. I've seen it happen a few times for people. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Getting in there and meeting people like that. That's
It is fun. That is the coolest part. We were in Pittsburgh, Three Rivers last year, which Scott and I will be at again this year, first weekend of June. Uh, Somebody came, heard our little spiel, bought a comic, and 20 minutes later came back with somebody else, and they're like, "Hey, these are the guys I was telling you about." And like no words, the guy just like handed over $5 and grabbed a comic. And we're like, "Wow, that's awesome."
oh yeah, I love when that happens. I like when it's like a multi-day convention
Yeah.
and people that you like, that bought the book. One day they'll come back, then after they've read it and
Yep.
tell you how much they liked it and everything. And there was when people use, like when your book is like the book that gets people back into comics when they
Mm,
haven't been into comics for a while, that is super rewarding.
yeah, that's cool.
And then when like a kid will buy their first comic and it just happens to be yours,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
also like just energizes the crap out of me.
Middle aged. Watch it, buddy. I'm not yet 30. All right, Kahuna.
Not yet 30, huh? Well,
I'm 36, and I don't know how that creeped up on me.
yeah, it comes quickly. Like,
That's-
I cannot believe I'm 42.
Yeah.
Like, that is like, I'm like, I can't believe it. Well, actually, heck, May 5th. How far away is that? Like a week?
Yeah. Yeah. But we,
Yeah. I turned 43 on the 5th.
you're great. You're getting up there.
I really am. Like, holy cow. I honestly didn't think I'd be alive at this
Yeah.
age.
Right? Isn't that weird? It's like you don't plan
Yeah.
that well.
Yeah, I didn't plan that far ahead. So we're figuring it out.
I mean, kind of
It's a day at a time kind of thing.
certainly is. With our story, since we're starting off so rudimentary, we're hoping that like, the steampunk aspect of it will be its own character, so that it becomes more technologically advanced as the story continues, so we can do some
Yeah.
really cool stuff with it. I love the idea of airships. Just putting a
Oh yeah.
envelope on a regular traditional masted ship. Or how do you weaponize something like that? We'll have discussions about different uses of steam. Like when the Model T came out, you could use it for everything. You could use it as a pump. You could use it as a mill. Because it's just an engine. It was just moving parts. So we had to start thinking like that. I like the idea of electrifying steam. It's just seems plausible enough.
Well, of course it does. I mean, all you need is to make an alternator is some way to kind of fuel the engine to
Mm-hmm.
rotate the fan.
Yep. We were thinking so along the lines of like, do we use coal or do we use one of those like highly compressed log things that Doc Brown used in Back to the Future? Like you have to make that too. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you think these things out, it's like it takes a lot of time, a lot of research, and I can't tell you how many books on colonial history, American, founding fathers. Like we probably read more books. We should get a PhD for this. It's insane amount of research, and just to have most of it end up on the cutting room floor or shelf, like maybe we can use that later, because
Oh yeah, that makes I
most of it's
understand that.
editing.
Yeah. Well, you know what Wally Wood said. It's the editor's job to something about to destroy the creator or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
He wasn't a big fan of the editors, but we need them. We need them.
Yeah. And Scott and I will send stuff back and forth, like how's this, how's this, how's this, and then we're just merciless to each other. It's so much fun. I gave him 22 pages, and he's like, we can make this into, you know, 2 or 3. Like I wanted to keep the pace going. He's like, we can string this along and still keep interest. But I like the pacing. You get attached to it. It's your work of art.
Yeah.
But you gotta be open to criticism.
Yeah. Uh, you'd be surprised how many writers and artists cannot handle criticism. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes or breaks someone in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to have a career in the arts, you've got to be able to take hard notation.
Mm. A little bit of humility goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many people just cannot. They
Yeah.
can't seem to take that, and it's a detriment to them.
Yeah. Everyone wants to be right.
Yeah, and I start to notice, and there's a few things that you notice in this industry. There's the people that they want to be the kind of the saviors. They want to kind of give their opinion all the time, and they think they've got it all figured out, and so they're very vocal about that.
Yeah.
I find that I get annoyed by them. They stick around a long time because they I think they thrive off of the recognition that they
Mm-hmm.
get from people that are kind of new in the industry, because you get a rotating door of new people, I think,
Yeah. Sure.
because of that criticism that they have to deal with it. And making a comic book is not easy. That's what people don't understand. It takes
We have no
time, and
idea.
it takes a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. No joke. We had no idea going into it. I mean, Scott did more than I did because he, had that class on it. But now that's when you just sat down and made a comic and didn't know this. You have your writers, you have your inkers, your colorists, your letterists, all that. Then it gets edited, then it goes to the publisher, and then all that.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into it. It is, and then, when you're trying to handle fulfillment and stuff yourself too.
Yeah.
That's why, you see a lot of people that come in and will do a first issue. And that's why you don't see a lot of second or third
Mm-hmm.
issues from people, because they can't, they can't sustain it. Or they don't want to, or maybe, but that's where you see real passion in there. But that's
Mm-hmm.
also where you see those people that kind of thrive on being the know-it-alls.
Sure.
They keep going back to those people because there's a rotating door of fresh meat, and I feel bad because a lot of times they're not encouraging with what they're doing. They really just want to tell people how they're doing it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I see that a lot. Like they just want to say how you're doing it wrong. And if that kind of goes against what I think comics is. It's fun,
Right.
It doesn't matter if you're doing it right or wrong. Are you having fun with it? And are you telling a good story? That's what it comes down to. And
Yeah,
but
that was a trade off we had to learn about too. The how much dialogue, show more than you say, or like
yeah,
how do you move the story along because it's action that drives the story. I mean, you can supplement with dialogue, but just
yeah.
two people sitting at a coffee table for 22 pages isn't gonna cut it.
No, it is not. Which that's part of the reason why I get so kind of annoyed with some of the more mainstream comics because they will do that. They will just have these scenes where
Hmm.
it's like, look, if I would do that, you would criticize the hell out of me for that,
Right.
you know. But you're getting by with it because you're, I guess, in charge. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's boring. No, I don't want to read that. I don't care about Colossus complaining about Twitter. Like I can do that on my own. I want to watch Colossus beat somebody up. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
I want action. I want some something fun in there. And so you do run into that quite a bit.
Yes.
And that is it's you need to editorialize a little bit. There needs to
Hmm.
be some exposition to what you're writing,
Yep.
but you don't want to have too much
Yeah.
because it can get very boring. You got to figure out
Balance it.
how to yeah. So being a writer coming into comics, writing a comic script is a lot different than writing a movie or novel or anything like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
It's a little closer to a movie,
Yeah.
but definitely different than a novel would be because of there's more obviously you create the visual image and with words.
Right.
With comics, that's not how we do it.
Hmm.
So how was that like for you? How did you find that process?
It
Kind of learning
was,
how to do
yeah,
comics.
learning curve. Um, I had taken a film and literature class where we took stories that were either books or graphic novels, turn them into film, and vice versa. And how do you write for the opposite one? So I had a little bit of background with it. When I write, it's like a video, like a movie going through my head, and then I have to like pause it frame by frame. In this scene, what's the most important frame?
Right.
And then I'll use that, and then I'll have to either show motion or have a reason to move on to the next one. And I'm just hitting the high points of the story, which is why so much ends up on the cutting room floor. I mean, if one scene seems particularly cool, definitely going to use it. And then visual motion, and I had to learn from Scott the psychology of comic books. How do you lay out these panels? How does the eye move across it? If it's you're moving from a night scene to a day scene, it's best to do that like on the right hand side of the page, where it's like the closing of that scene and
Yeah. The
up flip.
yeah.
Yeah,
You got to learn about page turners. You've got to little
yeah,
cliffhangers. Like that's where a lot of people miss it. Like is the mini cliffhangers on
yeah,
the page. To get it because when they're writing, they're not thinking in terms of. They're just thinking about what's there, and sometimes artists miss this too. They're just thinking about what's in front of them. They're not thinking about how's that turn going to be to
exactly.
that next page. Like what's the reader going to experience when they have the physical book in their hand?
Yeah,
And
you give them a reason to turn the page.
right, yeah, you want them to want more of that, and then you need a little cliffhanger at the end of your books, or at least a little hope that something else is going to take place. And
Right.
all right, so let's see what
Yeah,
we got going
fun.
on here so
This
far.
fall, actually that class I was in, my professor wants me to come back for a day and teach one of his lectures on the whole
Oh,
industry and
nice.
how you go from nothing to product. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of
So
books,
this is issue 2 of this book, correct?
correct. Yeah. Yep. First one was successfully kickstarted summer of 21. So kind of belabored us to get it out there, but now we got more momentum. 3 is scripted out and off to the artist, and 4 is nearly done being scripted. And we started with a novel first that was 40,000 something words. So we had plenty to pull from. And like I said, the war was so well documented. We have enough material to go like through the War of 1812 and the Barbary
Yeah.
Wars and we could just keep going as long as we have the momentum and funding, really.
Yeah, as long as people are interested, right? That's always the
Right.
thing. If people stay interested, uh, you've got content to pull from.
Oh yeah. Yep. Like I said, we'll keep true to history, and it's fun for us trying to figure out how can we use Felix in this scene. How can we use him in this time period? Like I said, we were looking for like loopholes, like the Great Conflagration of New York is like, it just caught on fire. Nobody knows quite why. Let's have him screw something up.
It's Felix's fault.
That's right. Impetuous
Dang
youth.
kid. Dang kid.
The Ultimate Kahuna has a question for the
Sure.
both of us. Do you guys know any comics in recent years that was done entirely by hand and non-digital?
I don't know. I know there's some out there.
Hey, Gil.
I believe Cyberfrog was all hand drawn. Is all traditional.
Cyberpunk? Okay.
Yeah, that's all traditional. I mean, there's people out there that still work all traditional.
Yeah. I know our Rob Davis does it all by hand. He works with Ron Fortier, who is the Beyond the Stars, the other one in our Kickstarter there. Rob does a lot by hand. Airship 21, I think, is theirs. They do a lot of like pulp style.
Yeah, there's actually. I think there's more traditional out there than digital.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, I know that because you can sell the original art.
Mm-hmm.
So I do original.
You go to cons?
I do. I've got one coming up in September in Florida, and then I got one.
Oh, is it
I'm probably gonna
Daytona?
do. No, I'm not. I'm not doing Daytona. I'm doing Ancient City Con. That one always does really well for me.
Is that Tampa?
No, that's St. Augustine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
see you there. I love St. Augustine.
Yeah, I always do really well at that con. So people's like, "Oh, I don't make any money." And I'm like, "Well, I don't know how you're not making any money because I do gangbusters there." So, yeah, I
love
really
St.
enjoy it.
Augustine. Man, I've spent so many days there. I lived in Orlando for a bit, Tampa when I was on the ship, and then my last duty station was Jacksonville. So I'd be down there all the time.
I lived in Jacksonville for. That's where I'm. Well, I guess where I'm from. Quote. I'm originally from here in Indiana, but we just recently moved in February.
Oh, where you at
Back to
now?
Indiana.
No, okay.
I'm in a little town, just a little town here, southern Indiana.
Oh, you're probably 3 or 4 hours away from me. I'm an hour east of Columbus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're not far, probably, from each other.
Yeah.
I do miss Florida. I prefer the weather and
No,
all that. It was.
I don't miss the humidity.
I don't miss the traffic. After my coma, after I woke up, the humidity didn't bother me like it used to.
Hmm.
Like my whole body, like temperature and everything, just reset.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I saw a story about somebody who came out of a coma and like had a permanent Chinese accent. Like,
Were
out
they
of nowhere.
Chinese?
She was American and never took Chinese in her life.
That's some weird crap right there.
It is.
I don't like that. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hedge.
When I relearned how to talk, I did start forming some of my words different, so I do pronounce things a little differently than I used to.
You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I do sometimes. I love that movie.
That's so good.
It was such a stupid movie. I love a good stupid movie.
Right. And he said he would make more Austin Powers, but that probably wouldn't get greenlighted today.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
They don't like that stuff now.
Yeah,
There's so much stuff that wouldn't get greenlit today. It's ridiculous.
Oh gosh. Anything in the realm of Blazing Saddles or Monty Python.
Yeah. It's like, come on,
All the
guys.
stuff that should be required watching in high school, you can't.
Yeah. It's like, come on, guys, just learn how to laugh a little bit, man.
Seriously.
People just take themselves way too serious, and
Yes, they do.
it becomes, there's no such thing as comedy now.
Mm-hmm.
They've destroyed all of it, and when I say they, I think everyone knows who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those militants
Mm-hmm.
that are out there. And
You can't laugh. You can't laugh at
no,
yourself. That's a problem.
yeah, there's a lot of people they don't have that ability either. And that, I mean, that's people on both sides of the aisle. They
Yeah.
can't laugh. There's a book on Fund My Comic that's it would get banned anywhere else. Like nobody else would allow it on their platform, but we're a totally free speech kind of platform. As long as you stay within some reason, then you're good to go.
It's 1984 stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's called Ma'am I Am. It's like a Dr. Seuss type version of. I mean, you know what it is by the title.
Yeah.
I don't really have to tell you. You know what you're talking. You know what we're dealing with here. But yeah, but it's basically it's to like let's laugh at ourselves, folks.
Yeah.
That's kind of the the gist of it. It's not to be taken serious or anything like that. It's funny. It's supposed to be funny, and
Yes.
and it is funny. He's got a few pages up there on it, and
You'll
it makes you
definitely check that
laugh.
out.
It's the
Yeah.
it's like yeah, we're nuts.
If you ever
We've
needed
gone
to
crazy
laugh.
over here.
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah, we
Guilty
we
Gearhead
need to
says hi.
laugh now, man. Hey, how's it going?
Kahuna said
Guilty
that's
Gearhead.
sick. I thought most was digital. It seems easier and more forgiving. It probably is. And wait.
It
Yep.
is. I know a lot. Well, that's why I use it. I'm not
Mm.
gonna lie. That's because look how fast I can go. If
Yeah.
I'm doing this traditional, there's no way I'm working this fast.
Yeah.
Like not a chance.
Yep. One of our artists, and I think she's our accountant as well, CFO, Barb Kelburn, has a bit of a tremor, so she went to a tablet and is now just like cranking the workout. Man, my
Oh
hands.
yeah,
Okay, I have to find this now. Yeah.
yeah. Right there on Fund My Comic. So we have things that are on our front page or featured pics.
Okay.
Those get there by having people donate to the website. So like, if you do a tip, like if someone does a tip, it puts your campaign up there.
Awesome.
So yeah, so that's how we do that.
And what is your direct website?
Fundmycomic.com.
Oh, that's yours. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that.
Oh, you're famous.
Not really. I wanted to do a website for myself that gave me the ability to continue to crowdfund and connect with my fans, even after I say something that's going to get me banned.
Yeah.
Because I've been informed that I'm problematic.
Oh.
So it is without doubt that I am going to say something
Yep.
that's going to offend someone at some point, and they're going to want to cancel me. So I just, in an effort to be uncancelable, I just
right.
started, kind of making my own
Good.
own way, kind of
Be
stuff.
ungovernable.
Yeah, because I'm like, I just, I have a tendency to speak my mind.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love
And,
you for it.
Not everyone likes that.
Yep.
It
You should hang out
does
with
make
Scott
my
and I
wife
more.
nervous. It does make my wife nervous sometimes because she's like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh, if I can imagine.
do you always have to say
Yeah.
exactly what you think?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a condition.
We need more of that.
Yeah, it's part of my condition now." But yeah, you can see how fast you can work digitally.
That shirt gives me awesome Rocketeer vibes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going for, man.
Good.
I'm glad you see that because that is exactly where I was going. Because I was
So
like
cool.
steampunky stuff that's not Victorian
Yeah.
pulp, kind of feel.
Mhm.
I was totally feeling Rocketeer.
Yeah. Nail on the head. Well done. For Christmas, Scott's a big fan of Iron Man and Rocketeer. I mean, I love Rocketeer. Jennifer Connelly and puberty is kind of lined up right.
Yeah,
And,
right. Yeah, makes
Christmas.
sense.
For Christmas, I had a buddy of ours, Quentin Bedwell, who did one of our covers, our second one, the Franklin explosion cover. I had him draw the Rocketeer and Iron Man, and Rocketeer's like flying over him, and he's saying like, "Looking good, kid. Keep up."
Yeah.
That was a good one.
That's I do a few prints. I don't do a lot of fan art, but I decided you know, that I needed to break bad a little bit and start making fan art at conventions, prints.
Hmm.
So I don't do a lot. I do a couple of them, and which is something I never did before. But when you're trying to make a living doing this stuff, it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
I use it as an opportunity to, as an add-on to my
Hmm.
books. If they're kind of on the fence about, whether they want to spend the money on it, I'll throw in a print or two because
Yeah.
it kind of gets us there. But
Yeah. Does
uh,
Fund My Comic have like stretch goal kind of things like Kickstarter does, or
well, yeah, you can do stretch goals. You can do anything you want.
okay,
It is not a Kickstarter or Indiegogo clone. It
got it.
is a replacement, though.
Yeah.
The way that we try to do that site is so that you have an opportunity to be seen with other really cool comic books.
Hmm.
But there's some are crowdfunding, and some are just storefronts.
Okay.
So you can actually run a storefront off of there if you wanted to, which a lot of people are taking advantage of. So they've ran a successful campaign already, and they just want to sell their book with our site so that they could be featured there. One of the other cool things about what we offer is we have a widget for each campaign where you can actually plug it into your own website,
Okay. Cool.
and so that has been very popular,
Yeah.
just in kind of in the conceptual sense. We don't have many people using it yet, but I have a feeling that we will soon. So
Yeah.
basically, you could crowdfund from your own website with your own branding, and never have anyone leave your URL. So you know how like people have a lot of like when they're running their own domain name for a campaign they're running, and then it
Hmm.
has the links to where you could actually buy them. Well, instead of having links to where you can buy them, you actually just have the campaign in your URL. Like
That's all
it opens up, it's right there.
convenient.
So, yeah, very convenient. It's something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Again, I built this for myself. I wasn't expecting to share it with anybody. I was going to be very selfish with it, but I was talked out of being selfish by some
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. It's good for
by
the rest
some
of us.
yeah. Everybody else was like, come on, give us some but
Yeah.
some benevolence, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
all right. But I think it is true. A lot of people say we've been needing an alternative
Yeah.
for a while, and politics can so easily come to play in some of
Yeah.
this stupid stuff,
They'll
and
shoehorn it into everything.
I never considered who Jack Kirby voted for or like what political
Yeah.
party he was
Right.
associated with. I don't care, right? And I don't think that we should care so much. I mean, we're
And
technically
separating the
entertainers.
artist or something about that.
Yeah.
There's a quote somewhere about that. I should look that up.
Yeah, I mean, we're we're technically just entertainers.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of stay out of that mess as best I can. Of course, people lump you, if you don't pass their purity test, you get lumped into different areas anyway. But I wanted to give an opportunity to so people didn't have to worry about it so much.
Yeah. No. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
hard being successful.
it really is.
Most
And we
most
only
people think they're going to fail. No, no. You're probably more afraid that you're going to be successful because then there's a higher bar.
Yeah, there really is. Especially if you have like a very successful campaign, and then your next one, you feel like this pressure to try to do
Yeah.
the same or better,
Right.
and I kind of take that stuff off of my plate. I don't worry about all that,
Yeah, that's good.
but
That's what we're running into. Our first one, I guess we got. I think our ask was 4,000. We got nearly 8,000, and now this one, and we're thinking maybe because it's been so long between issues, not getting as many eyes on. I think we're like $700 away from our goal of 4,000. So we're getting there. We might just
Yeah.
squeak by in the last minute.
Just keep it going. Right now is a difficult time to.
Yeah.
I mean, our finances. I mean, our freaking country's falling
Oh my
apart,
gosh, the
and it's
inflation.
the inflation's nuts. Everything costs so much dang money
It's
now.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And it
people
doesn't
are.
have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. It's mismanagement is what it is.
Yeah.
And these people are more concerned with I don't know. I'm not going to get into that, but
I know where you're going.
they're concerned with things that really, let's
Yeah.
there's bigger issues in our country that we need to focus on. So let's work on those things, because my kids need food.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's and so that's what part of what we do at Fund My Comic is we only take a 3% platform fee. We were going to
Wow.
do less. We were going to do less, but we couldn't. We couldn't get by with a little bit less. I mean, we really tried to see if we can do a 2%, but with kind of the cost of things the way they are, it was
Hmm.
it the best we could do was three
And you have
percent.
to run the business.
Yeah, we do, and it takes a lot of time because I do. I mean, we have real people that
Right.
does the support. So
Hmm.
it's not bots or anything like that. If you have a problem, we want to keep it very boutique. We want,
Yeah.
we're there to help you with your problem.
So you actually offer customer service. That's incredible.
Yeah, we do.
That's good luck finding that anywhere.
Yeah, so we're really trying to help people out. And it's just because, man, I love comic books and I love games. And I think that, we, centralized website, I think we all have, can agree that it's a good idea, to
Hmm.
do a centralized website, where fans can come together and hold on a second. I'm thinking for a second. Hold on. Do. Which one
Tree
do I
Goblin says, "Hey Luke,
want? Special.
the
Oh, there we go.
Ultimate Kahuna asked, do you think we will see a new comic publisher open up not just their own work, but the work of others regarding printing and shipping? Like maybe Eric July's company, if it gets big enough?"
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe. So, we're working with Arrow, but there's one thing that I am trying to do right now is I'm laying the groundwork for a sister site to fund my comic.
Hmm.
It's going to allow users that have successfully funded submit their print files so that we can have another site that is solely dedicated to retail stores. So
Like
a
a print
retailer
out.
can create an account there and they can purchase books print on demand.
Okay, cool.
So I'm working with a printer that, can hit a price. We'll have stipulations for the creators, like, it has
Hmm.
to be a 32-page interior. It has
Right.
to be,
Yeah.
plus cover. It's going to be printed this way. Everything is getting done uniformly. It needs a barcode, and so kind of all of those things, like we're going to have all those things kind of in place. But what it is, like someone will, let's say a store comes in and they want to purchase, 7 copies of your book.
Yep.
Then they just go and they add 7 copies. They're paying a discounted retail price. And then you're not doing any work at all. We're
Hmm.
actually handling all of it. So we take the file, like the printer has the files. We just send the order to the printer.
Yep.
They print it and ship it to the store.
Perfect.
And then the website takes their cut and then we send you a cut,
Perfect.
So it's that, I mean, that's the idea
Streamlined,
anyway.
easy for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we wanted to do. Something that was going to be super, super easy, but at the same time, super effective for what it is. Because we all want to get into the stores, I think. I think that's,
Yeah.
but we know
Yeah.
that Diamond is struggling. Like, they're not the company
Right.
that they used to be, and they're not the company to help us. When they put that green section in, that didn't help the indies at all.
Well, yeah.
And, it's still to this day, it's not helping a lot of people. And I think Diamond, is really, I think Diamond's going to go away
You
eventually.
think? Yeah.
I really do. I think my gut tells me that. There's people that, they swear by all of that, it's like, oh, diamond
Yeah.
distribution and all that. And it's just like scent boys, it's like, come on, guys. There's got to be a better way. And I mean, you think about kind of the history of comics and what the people that came before us were able to do.
Yeah.
We need, we need to start coming up with or some other options, some better
Absolutely.
options. I think. I don't like this.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
we run into that as well. I mean, how many of our physical copies are in stores? I mean, I have like 5 of ours on the shelf of the local comic shop in like the local area, the section of the store, and hasn't really moved. I go in there and check it every now and again, but they have it like scrolled away in the way back corner. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like support the local stuff. And,
Well, I think another thing that we've noticed. I mean, and let's be real honest, real fair here. The the mainstream is hurting the comic shops. That's why I think they're you know, some comic shop owners will be very honest about it and say, yeah, I'm the stuff that they're writing, people just aren't liking.
yep,
Their quality standards have dropped,
yep,
and it's affecting my business.
yeah,
And some people will be honest about that. Some will not. They'll, they want to toe the line and kind of play the part, whatever. But if we're honest, we know that we need other options. And I think for some of these comic shops, indies is the other option. Like if they focused on bringing in more quality independent work
yes.
that's already got a track record of selling,
Yeah,
I think they'd be better off. But I mean, that's me.
I go in there and I ask them, what's selling, and like what genre is selling, and every time it's horror, which I wouldn't have thought.
Yeah, horror does pretty good, actually. It's a pretty solid market for most people.
I'd
I'm
love
not
to
really into it, but
I had an
it's not
idea
my
for
thing.
one, but then I guess it's somebody else that already did it. I wanted to make a Lewis and Clark expedition out west, a horror, and like they're being tracked from shore with like skinwalkers or something. But there's already a graphic novel that's Lewis and Clark horror with monsters. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna have to shelf that one. I should probably buy it, read it to see just how close my
They
idea
got you
was.
already.
Yeah,
They got you already.
right. All the good ideas. My dad always would tell me like if I like had an idea for something, he goes, let's take something that already exists and make it 15% better, and everyone will
Yeah,
jump to that. Like, yeah, it's not
he's
not
not, he's
wrong.
not wrong.
Yeah,
Smell something good baking. Somebody's making some tasties or something downstairs.
oh, oh, that's so good. Even with the black and white and how you can do the low light and the highlight with that,
Yeah,
like that's something that would be a skill I'd have to have somebody else teach me because that's
it's just
good.
like using an ink wash. And now I'll go in and after I've blended some of this, I'm going to erase it around him so
Hmm.
that I can go in tighter. And yeah, and so I just go in and blend it out. I do a few layers of this. It helps add texture and depth to the piece,
Sure.
and it's fast.
I love that toolbox. That's good. That's good.
Obviously, this stuff that's closer to the ground gets a little
Mhm.
darker.
It looks like he's having fun. All our other covers, like something's exploding, something's going wrong.
No, I wanted to make it fun.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a kid. I mean, it's steampunk. I mean,
right.
let's have a good time. Let's sell a book. That's always my goal. Like,
Right.
let's sell a book. What would sell a book? Someone having a good time would sell a book.
This is true.
We need more escapism, man. There's just too much negative.
Yeah.
They went through this period where they did all this deconstruction, but nobody reconstructed a dang thing.
Yeah. And
And
did everything become like even the bad guys are good guys now? They made it so like morally gray, like that's just misunderstood, you know?
no, I like a bad guy being a bad guy,
Right.
and a good guy being a good guy.
Yep.
I like my men being men and my women being women, and
Yep.
strong and powerful. I'm not afraid of a powerful woman.
That's right.
Give me a good She-Hulk, somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of the kind of the garbage that we've been given lately. I want good comic books. I love comic books. And we
You
need,
prefer like the individual floppies or a trade?
I do like floppies. I've always loved floppies. But yeah, I find myself buying more trades, but back issues
Yeah,
of
that's
things.
me.
I'm not buying hardly anything new these days.
Same. I'm liking the graphic novels of the hardbound ones of Firefly.
Oh yeah, Firefly.
Yeah. I'll usually pick up two, one for me and one for my sisters. We have a full collection. You know, Edwin, Raid of the White Leopard, says floppies all the way. Kahuna asks, so fellas, when writing a comic, would you rather work from a script with no input regarding the visuals? Or would you rather have the writer storyboard what they want? Ooh.
A little bit of both, actually. I'm really happy with the writer. Well, I do a lot of work for hire.
Okay.
That's kind of what I do now. But yeah, I kind of like it when the writer really has an idea what he wants or she wants, and they let me know so that I don't waste time.
Yeah.
Because time is money, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this or not, but
Is that a new
time
concept?
is money.
I've never
And
heard
I don't got much of either, so I try to capitalize as much as I can.
We've had good and bad experiences with artists. We try to be very specific in the scenes and where we can, get hands off a little, like, please take some artistic license with this. We've been very, very pleased because, like, artists just think it in a way we don't. And we've also had art come back where, like, hands are, like, upside down or backwards. Like, that's kind of odd. Or, like,
Yeah, that's just an incompetent.
Yeah.
It's like, geez, AI could do that good.
Yeah, right?
I'm
That's another
I'm
thing.
hiring you because I want a solid looking book, and
Yep.
that ain't gonna do it. I try to give everything that I do a 1,000%.
It shows. It really does.
Well, it's one of those things where I'm a man of faith. I used to be a pastor until
Oh, nice.
recently. So now I'm just a full-time cartoonist,
That's good.
just illustrator, and which I always wanted to do that, but I never thought I would. And so it's kind of nice to kind of be in a place in my life where I'm doing that. I enjoyed being in the pulpit, but man, it is nice not having those responsibilities now.
Yeah, and being married, that's
Yeah, and with kids, ministry really hurt my kids a lot.
really
Yeah,
just time away.
well, no, the abuse that
Mm.
Christians give the pastor and the family. Most people don't even realize that. They don't even think that's a thing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
but it's affected my daughter so much that she's actually going to school to be a Christian counselor to help
Okay.
out pastors and their families.
Good. Really
So
need
yeah,
that.
so she's using it to, kind of all that negative to
Yep.
just help, and to be, to impact the kingdom of God in the way she can,
Amen.
And so
Yeah,
it's
Scott and I are both Christian as well. He's Baptist, I'm Catholic, and we agreed like certain scenes have to be there. Like historically, like one of our characters requested a Bible before his death, so like we're definitely putting that in there. Washington praying, before
Yeah.
Valley Forge, like that has to be in there.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, but that's yeah. When I write, I do a lot of. I let faith influence me.
Mm-hmm.
People think that I have to explain. It's like, no, I don't make a Christian comic book because I'm, it's just a comic book, folks.
Mm-hmm.
But most people have not had a problem with that. It's always been people in the church that have had a problem with that.
Well, that's
You know?
hot.
Yeah, they're like, well, I guess sometimes you're not Christian enough for people.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm like, come on, guys, let's stop being stupid. But yeah, most
Kahuna
people have
says
not
that's
had
so
a problem.
sad, man. Pastors have such a hard job, even with the support of congregation. Yes, they do.
Yeah. So yeah, like I
The
said, I'm
burnout's
happy
a real
not to be
thing.
doing it.
Yeah, I got friends who are
Oh,
pastors out in Florida, and burnout is a big thing.
yeah, yeah. It is. I've heard people say if you're getting burned out, it's because you're focused. I'm like, these people are, again, they're just like the people in the comic book industry that, try to tell, they're trying to make themselves look like they're amazing.
Yeah.
They want everyone to think, look how great I am. It's like those guys like, well, if you can't sell your book, it's because you're not working hard enough. Screw you, man. You have no
Right.
idea how hard I'm working.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just hard to, hard to connect with an audience.
Hmm.
Right now, it's like, it's not just an economy of money. It's an economy of attention,
Yeah. Yeah.
of
You have ideas.
yeah. So it's like you're trying to get noticed, and it's difficult. It's difficult to get seen sometimes. There's just so much going on where people can not see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, like I said, Scott and I, this go around, we've been on 3 times as many uh, interviews and live streams, and it not quite the same eyes on as last time. Maybe the first one is always just the more exciting, and I know statistically the second issue of a comic never does as well, which kind of
yeah. Well, that is true to an extent, but I mean, we can't underestimate the fact that people have a reduced amount of disposable income right now.
yeah.
And so they're only going to spend their money on things that they know they definitely want.
Yep.
And one of the things that, if they're still buying comics, but they're going to buy comics that they're already familiar with.
Mhm.
So it's not likely that they're going to take a chance on something they've never heard of right now. That's what I'm learning, and so it's because of the price points for a lot of people.
Sure.
And but there's people, they don't want to hear that. No, everything's fine. I'm like, yeah, tell that to IDW right now that everything's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, clearly it's not, guys. Clearly everything's not fine. So let's stop pretending, and let's find solutions for ourselves. That's what it comes down to. We need to find a solution for ourselves.
No one's gonna fix it for us. We got to fix
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I'm going to keep making comic books. I'm not stopping, And so I just got to figure out how to sell my comic book. It's a little more difficult than it used to be, but,
Yeah.
if I create a value for it, people will want it.
That's right.
So that's what you do. You just do it. Like that fella says, that Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Yeah. Speaking of faith, he just made a movie about Padre Pio.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. June 2nd, it comes out in the States. I can't wait. But I love that he went out. I was in California and just hung out with a bunch of Franciscan friars just to like absorb the life. Like, that's
Yeah. Well, how long have we been doing this? Hour and
cool.
15. We are just about done here, I think.
Amazing.
Okay. Does that?
Oh, that's so
I think
good.
that kind of brings the eye where I want it to go.
Yeah. I see the path.
I think I can do a few more things here.
I've done photography for a while, and setting up a shot that has that, the motion of the eye, where's it going, is just as important with
Yeah.
drawing, planning it out. No, Ultimate, already bought your comic. When I read it, I'll make a video about it. My
Sweet.
comic? My comic? Really? Thank you.
I
Can't wait.
closed my campaign,
Yeah.
and I had messages. They're like, "You closed your campaign? I thought you were going to extend it." Like, no, I'm trying to build this website and get, and do marketing for that. And I keep telling people, like, you're not going to be successful with your campaign unless you can get out and hustle to get attention and eyes on it.
Yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
so far, every podcast that I go on, we wind up just talking about the website and not my campaign. And because that's what people are interested in. So they go there and then they see the other stuff. And it's like, you know, I love that we're getting attention on the website, but I've not been able to, not been able to draw attention to my actual book that I'm trying to fund. The reason why I built the website. And I'm like,
Yeah,
just the irony of it is,
yeah.
it just cracks me up. And, I'm not upset by it or anything. I just, I think it's funny. It's just, it is what it is.
Hey, you had great success, so keep rolling with it.
Yeah. Now I had the one book that did really, really well. But that was on Indiegogo. The Rift Riders, that did really well. We did 10
Mm.
grand on that one. But we're trying to, kind of repeat that. But we had, it's attention, economy, and a few other things just come into play. With that not doing as, with the latest hybrids not doing as well as I wanted it to.
Sure.
And but again, I'm not getting upset by it. You reevaluate, and you go back with another,
Yeah,
fix your
yeah.
plan of attack. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to fix my plan of attack with it, and so I can go back and nail it next time. But yeah, I had people message me. Oh, I thought you were gonna extend. I'm like, no, you missed it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like if I get enough requests to open it back up, I will. But I'll do it for like a week. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for the most part, it's like I've got to focus on all of this other stuff, and
Yep.
it's just not doing any good to kind of keep that going. And I keep trying to draw attention to it, but it's not working. I'm just so busy.
You said time and money.
Yeah, time and money. That's, again, two things we never have enough of.
Yeah.
And will we ever? That's the
Right.
question.
Speaking of smiling and having a good laugh, if anybody wants a good laugh, go to our Kickstarter campaign, STEAM Patriots. Silverline is our publisher. We're also going with Beyond the Stars, issue 2. Our promo video, Scott and I just cracked up. That it took like 6 takes to get. And normally we mastered the one take, but if you want a good laugh, our promo video makes me laugh at least.
Comics need to be fun. We need to have fun doing it. I love the videos that don't take the work so seriously.
Yeah.
Where they're not afraid to joke a little bit.
Hmm. You know what? I wanted to know what the statistics are of covers of comics that have smiling faces versus serious faces. Like, does a smiling face draw people in more?
I don't know.
I like to
I
do
do
some,
know that covers with boobs do.
right? Yeah.
They draw them in. Like, yeah, if you've got a boob book,
Yep.
you're gonna make money. People love those.
Roland always says, boobs, blades, and blood.
Yep. Yep, that stuff works.
We
Of course,
joke. We wouldn't do it, but we joke about putting a buxom Betsy Ross on the cover.
yeah, right. I mean, it can get pretty tempting to want to do that stuff.
Right? Yeah. Just can't do it. Just can't make
Yeah,
yourself do
it's
it.
just my, because of my faith, I don't do
Yeah.
that stuff.
No, you can tell. You can tell a great story without it.
Yeah,
It's like the
yeah,
Game
I
of
don't
Thrones
need.
thing. Like it was completely unnecessary.
Yeah,
Which would have been a good story without.
I mean, I think my story's pretty darn good. At least the people that have read it think so. So I don't,
Yeah, I'll definitely
and
have
I've
to.
got strong women, beautiful
Mhm.
women in there, but so it's not something you won't see me going that route anytime soon. I'll just wait for people to kind of find their way to the book
Yeah.
and the stories, organically.
And what's the name of yours?
Hybrids, the Sons of Gods. You've probably never heard of it.
I'm gonna look it up and get it.
We're on book 9. Actually, I'm
Wow,
getting ready to start drawing book 10.
that's awesome. Yeah, we're hoping to get there. We're hoping to get 3 and 4 done this year by the end of the year. That's our goal, our mission.
Sweet.
Roland's backing us up. He's like, as soon as you guys get it out, we'll push it. So hopefully, with a little more momentum, and momentum begets momentum, we'll be rolling
Yeah.
there.
Roland's a great guy. I really like him.
Yes, yeah, he's good. And him and his wife, BJ, man, they do everything.
Yeah.
And thank you again, Kahuna. I look forward to seeing your video. Make sure you send it to us. And Luke, we'll have to get you on one of our Wednesday Wham shows.
I'll be happy to.
Yeah. Man, that is just
I think it's about done.
that is man, it is literally a work of art. Wonderful. Oh, we could definitely use that.
And then we do this. Where's that box?
Perfect.
Oops. Moved the wrong layer.
Love that undo button.
It's my favorite. And then I go back to the inks. And then we give it a little... $23.
Excellent.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'll get this high res here saved and send it over to you.
Cool.
Guys, check out this book if you haven't backed it already. We know we backed. Did you back that during the stream? Was that back during the stream?
Kahuna said he got it. So yeah, we
Kahuna,
got.
did you back it during the stream or did you already had it backed? Kahuna, let me know. If you back that during the stream, I'm going to make the bird dance because that's what we do.
Oh yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Awesome.
have a bird. Well, we're going to assume that he did. That way we can make the bird dance. Whenever we bring some money to the table, we always like to have the bird dance. Here you go. Check it out. There
That's
you go.
fantastic.
Yes.
That's so
I
good.
like making the bird dance.
He also says that it'll be dope. I'm working on a little something for Michael Bancroft's The Lucent
Oh, nice.
Dream right now. Excellent. Cool. Yeah, I'll check that out too.
We're going to call this Steam. No, we're going to call it by his name. We're going to call it Felix. Felix Ward.
Excellent.
All right.
So it is such a wild thing to like see your ideas actually put on paper and it's like, wow. It's like,
Yeah.
the energy you get from creating something is just wild.
It is. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much fun to take something that's blank and then make something out of it, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people miss that joy. That's just the joy of creating. And there's too much drama for me that goes around comic books when it should be a lot of fun and whimsy and enjoyment. And people just get so hung up on stupid stuff like politics and who you like and who you don't like, or, you know, whether you draw digital or traditional, or
Yeah.
just there's a fight about everything, you know.
Right.
It's
So-
like, you eat pineapple on your pizza? Well, screw you.
well.
I'm like, oh man, it's just, you know, comic books are fun, and they should be fun. Sometimes they teach us things, and sometimes they're escapism, and you know, I find there's a comic book for everybody, and that over the years,
Really?
comic books have been incredibly diverse over the years, with ideas and people and all kinds of stuff, I think this recent thing where they're like, oh, well, we need to make more diverse. There's not enough diversity in comics. I'm like, are you reading the same comic books that I grew up with? I mean, have you read one of these? I mean, there were gay characters. There are people of color. There are, there's just a myriad of. It was like a kaleidoscope of people and ideas and stuff. And I don't get it. Where people they want to make a fight about comics, and I don't want to fight about comics. I want to enjoy. I want to laugh about them. I remember I was in my lunchroom, and that's how I made my friends. We were talking about comic books, and we had a pretty weird group at our table. We were the weirdos, but we all loved comic books so much, and we all were able to connect over them. Now we would fight about comics. We would fight about which X-Men we thought could be who.
Right.
We would have our own, and then we'd start making our own comics, our own characters. We designed me and my friend Hilton Turner, which I've reconnected with him on Facebook. It's great, but he created a character. He and I created a character each, and we were like, we would try to talk about their powers and who we thought which one would win, and of course, we each thought our character could beat the other one. But I'm pretty excited to announce that the character that I designed is getting a redesign, and he is going to be in a comic book in the next Hybrids arc. So he is going to be, I think, on book 11, and then after that, he's going to get his own spin-off series. So I'm actually going to.
Oh, good.
I've decided to put him in the comic book in the Hybrids universe.
World building, love it.
Yeah, and it's so I can't wait to do that one. But we've completely he had 5 massive blades on each hand that were quite difficult to draw. They looked really cool, but trying to get perspectives on those right all the time, and and it didn't make for to be able to draw that character very fast. And so I kind of redesigned it by accident. I just sent the character, like I sent a description to the guy that does my layouts for me on that book. So I do my own layouts usually, but for Hybrids, because I'm the writer and the artist, I want other people's point of view in there.
Okay.
And so I send it to him, the script to him, and he does the layout for me. That way there's another fresh perspective in the storytelling.
Yeah, that's very smart.
And when he did the character, I forgot to talk about the blades, but I just referenced like what he was, trying to cut him with, right? But I didn't give him any reference for the character. I said just it's an amorphous blob. It doesn't matter. I'll fill it in. I just need panel layout, perspective, camera angle, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so he did this thing, but he added something to the design that I was like, ooh, I like that. Like that was neat, because visually in a panel, he just did that little thing, that little flourish that would have, just makes the panel look more interesting, really. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, so I just from there I just totally
make it pop.
That one little detail made me redesign the entire character's suit. Yeah. The character's still the same, like who he is, but just his methodology, his weaponry is different now. And I'm like, that's way cooler, and it's gonna be way faster to draw.
Good.
Or at least look better on the panel. It's gonna. I'm sure I'll over detail it. I tend to do that sometimes with some of these characters I design, but
yeah, that's all right.
So yeah, that's pretty exciting. So how many books do you have planned for this?
So definitely 4, definitely 4. And we were thinking after those 4, we had 2 different artists for issues 1 and 2. And we have one artist, Art of Roto. He's doing 3 and 4. So we might have him redo 1 and 2 and re-release it all as one trade. And then keep going with the next 4. And same thing, release it as a trade.
Yeah, I've been doing that, and I find that it's pretty good. So
yeah,
and other people are starting to follow that too.
Yep.
I don't know why I did. I don't think anyone was doing that when I started. But it was the typical. It's what the mainstream has always done, right? Mm-hmm. Individuals, and then they put it into a trade, right?
Yeah. And then
so that was just
us. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just my mindset. That's what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
people kept saying, no, you gotta, indies need to make graphic novels. That's how you make money. You
Yeah.
know, it's not cost effective to do floppies. I'm like, look, I have always wanted to do floppies. I want what I want. I'm going to do what I want to do because
Mhm.
that's who I am. I do what I want. I got a permit.
Right. And the market
And
reacts.
yeah, and the market reacts. So it allows me to tell the story in chunks. But as a writer, you're going to understand this. I use the 3 act arc, the
Yeah.
conflict, the fight, and the resolution. The start, the conflict resolution. And so I use that not only for all 3 arcs for the big overarching story, which is going to be, we're
Mm.
getting ready to finish off the next 3 books, but I do that inside of the arcs. So, the first one was 5, the second one was 4, the last one's 3 books, but they're broken down into the kind of those, that 3 act set.
Mm.
And then I break down the books into scenes, like every 6 pages, 6 to 8 pages, I'm changing. It's one scene. And in those scenes is the 3 act model.
I see.
so
Okay.
that I can keep it, and then I can create, it's like just create the connective tissue behind it, around it. And, but that way I can create content faster and in smaller chunks
Mhm.
for people.
It's like a template, yeah, framework.
Yeah. And so what's happened is I've been trying to tell other stories that way, and I've been using them as backup stories. And now I'm thinking maybe that's how we ought to do it. Like maybe I ought to team up with a few people and we just break down our stories into 6 to 8 page
Mm.
little sets, and we publish a book together, like
That
Shonen
would
Jump or something like that.
that would be cool.
Yeah, where it's like, because it's a lot easier to produce 6 pages than it is 24 or 30.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's faster. I mean, I can draw 6 pages in a week. I can have a story done every week. I mean, how awesome would that be?
That oh man, that'd be fun.
Yeah. So it's something I'm probably going to work on.
Hmm. Yeah, we did a Christmas book like that where all different creators did like a 6 or 12 page little
Yeah.
mini story for Christmas, and we were talking about doing one for Halloween that just this is everyone's side gig, so time has
Yeah.
got in the way,
I
but
know. Yeah.
we'd love to do something like
Yeah.
that.
I mean, but think about, like, so like, what if every month, 4 different stories are being told, but they're being told in sequence like we do now with
Hmm.
bigger issues, but we're just doing it in 6 to 8 pages at a time. So
Yeah.
this month you read this, the next month you're going to get the next part of the story for each one of these 4 stories. Next month, and so on and so forth. You can produce a lot faster, and I think make a lot more money doing that, on the
That, yeah.
back end anyway. And then once you've got like enough for a single issue, then you can take those things and make a single issue, and
Yeah.
then compile those, and then do a whole graphic novel or something like that. I think there's just a lot of ways that you can do that, and to get the content out to people faster.
Yeah,
And
that'll
really
take some
looking at,
experimentation.
yeah, I was really looking at like the way manga did things, with Shonen
Yeah,
Jump and things like that.
that's huge.
That's what they do. I mean, it made the content so readily available for people that they could read it, and it made it cheap.
Hmm.
Because
That's
a $25
well.
book,
Yeah,
that's not a good jumping in point. $25, that's hard
yeah, that's an
right now.
investment. Like you better like what you're getting for that.
Yeah, and I think with the change of the economy, I think maybe we ourselves need to adapt a little bit. But
Hmm.
I mean, that's what it is. But here's Felix Ward. I hope you like my take on your character.
I do. It's phenomenal.
He seems like a fun kid. I'm looking forward to. I have not read your first one. I am a big fan of. When did you launch your first one?
Would have been summer of 21.
Yeah, I was in a coma then. I was.
Yeah.
I went in the hospital of August of 2021. So yeah, that's why I missed it. So it looks like I'm going to be able to catch up then.
Excellent. Yeah, we hope you love it. Kahuna says, just back your project figured I shared on Twitter as well. Thank you so much. You make some dumb
Awesome.
videos
Thank
on
you very
YouTube.
much.
Book content. Thank you so much, Kahuna. Appreciate it.
Oh, I'd like to remind everybody that's watching, thank you so much for being here and helping out Rory with this project today. Please be sure to share the link. It is you have no idea how much bringing attention to a project helps, even if you can't back it today. or if you've already backed it, sharing that out on Twitter and Facebook is gonna do gangbusters for him. It really does help.
Yeah.
And so I do ask you to do that, help him out with that. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel that we've got here, Luke Stone Studios on YouTube, and it's the Salty Artist on Rumble, and so you can check us out there if you are preferring the Rumble thing, which some people do. But yeah, I do encourage you to like and subscribe. We'll be back here Monday morning for a devotional, my Monday Devo. Then we'll be here Tuesday morning for another update on Fund My Comic. We do a weekly update on Fund My Comic, what's happening over there. Tuesday night, we'll be doing Nerdcap at 10 p.m., so come by there. It's a little more salty. We have some fun guests that are, the panel's usually a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Lively.
Nuanced, intellectual.
Yeah. Sure, all of those things. Let's just say that instead. No, we have a good time over there. Yeah, not subtle, not so subtle. But no, we have a good time over there on Tuesday nights. Kind of end off our Tuesdays and get ready for bed. And then on Thursday morning, we have Nerd Bacon, which is our long form. It's about 3 hours. We're getting ready to start. Next week, we're cutting that down to 2. I'm so busy I can't stream for 3 hours at a time now. So
Yeah,
it's not working out for me.
2-hour streams, and that kills you.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten really good at the butt power again. I couldn't stay in the chair for more than 4 hours at a time.
Ooh, yeah.
When I first got out of the hospital in January of 2022. That's when I came home. I was 550 days in the hospital.
That's wild.
Yeah. I had to relearn how to walk and everything.
Yeah, that's not easy.
No, and I've gotten a chest cold today. I started feeling sick yesterday. And I've got a chest cold, and so my lungs don't operate at full capacity. And so it's bothered me. I've not been able to make it up and down the stairs today. They've been bringing me food to the office.
That's love.
Drinks. Yeah, that is love. I appreciate the kids very much for that. But
yeah, my prayers. I'm sure Scott's too.
Yeah. Well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let's bring us down to this one right here. And then I can bring this screen back over here. There we go. All right. Roy, it's been great talking with you.
Thanks, Luke.
Great getting to know you. You're a great guy.
You too.
Anybody that gets the endorsement of Roland Man has got to be a pretty good guy.
That's right.
I'm a legend. I don't know about you. Yeah, I'm really glad I got to stick around. They actually told me I wouldn't survive. So when I woke up in the hospital bed in the ICU, I was more surprised than anybody. I mean, I was literally standing at the gates. I was there. I mean, I could smell it. I can tell you all about it. But, so when I woke up, I was more surprised than anybody. And then they said, I would never breathe again on my own. And I'm doing that. I got off the intubator and I'm off oxygen mostly. I still need it when I'm active. And then they said I would never walk again. And so I did come home in a wheelchair and I was walking. I did start walking again, but I was in a wheelchair for a while. And we fought our way out of that. So it just goes to show when a doctor says you'll never, God's bigger than that. God's bigger than all of that. I'm like, you have no idea the amount of prayers and the faith that I've got. You know, it's like that woman that grabbed his hem.
Right.
She was healed not because of the garment, but because of her faith.
Power flowed out through.
Yeah, I mean, I just knew that God was going to do something. You know, that wasn't going to be my story. And so I can't play or sing anymore. I used to be a pretty talented musician. Used to play and sing in church all the time. But even though I can't do that anymore, I'm able to draw. And so I'm using God has taken me out of the pulpit and put me kind of smack dab square in comics right now. And I'm loving it. So I'm having fun with it. And I'm able to share my faith with people and encourage people that way.
It shows. You're good at it.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. But yeah, so your character is really fun, really cool story idea. If you like history and steampunk, you got to check it out, guys. And I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks again, Rory. I'm gonna
Thank
play out a
you.
little bumper.
Yeah, sounds good.
I've got to do the housekeeping. I gotta promote the Fund My Comic. So
Absolutely.
guys, definitely go check out fundmycomic.com. Here's the bumper, and we
Thanks,
will see
Gilpin.
you all later. Have a good one.